Welcome back to Cherry Picking. Today, we're going to fix my brakes and replace my vacuum brake booster. Let's get into it. That's right, today's a quick one. We're going to go ahead and just try to replace my vacuum booster for my power brakes. My brake booster does actually work, but it does leak. When I press the pedal in, I can actually hear the hissing of the vacuum leaking through the booster. When I press down all the way, you can hear it kind of stop, close up, and the vacuum on my vacuum gauge actually builds. I get more inch-pounds of pressure of vacuum, so I've got a minor leak. Now, the brakes still worked, but we're gonna go ahead and replace it. I got this correct 66 booster that was actually rebuilt at some point in the past 30 years, and it's in much better shape. Just bench tested it, threw on just a piece of crap master cylinder, hooked it up to the vacuum where my normal booster goes, and tested it, and it seems to work fine, and I don't hear any hissing. So we're going to replace it. We're also going to take time by painting it so that it at least looks kind of nice. Because, well, my old one is rusty color, and this one's rusty color, and I'd rather it be black. So, yeah, I guess let's get to painting it first, and then we'll take off my old one. Got to go ahead and take off the master cylinder, because this is just a tester. And we can slide this guy apart. Don't forget that piece. Take that piece off. Oh, lost a bolt. And, well, let's go tape this up and paint it. Give it a nice scuff and spray it black. Now, I'm not going to go crazy on this or anything. I'm not going to even put primer on it or anything like that. Really not going to do a good job is what I'm getting at here. I just want it to be painted black so that it's not just rust colored. So I'm just going to scuff it up with some of this Scotch-Brite here. Go a little crazy. Make sure to get the back as well. Blow it off, prep it, and spray it black. And then we'll let it dry for a little while, hour or so. And we'll put it on. All things great are done fast. I think that's what the phrase is. Anyways, I'll be here for a few minutes. Now, like I said, I'm not going to go crazy on this. We're just going to give it a light 2 or 3 coats, and call it good, because that's all it really needs. So, sprayed it down with some brake cleaner, the Lord's cleaning solution. I'm just going to give it a few light sprays here. Only thing I taped actually was the remanufactured tag on the back, just so it could be red. But this is a Midland booster, which you can actually read on the top there. So give it a light coat all the way around. Let that set. Do another coat. I'm sure you're all professional spray paint experts, as we all become working on these vehicles. Light coats. That's all it takes. Restoring, brand new. Gonna look brand new too. Just get the rubber and everything. Really helps lubricate it all. Alright, well, I'll get 2 or 3 more coats, or however many coats on this guy. Let it dry for a few minutes, and then once it's drying, we'll take off the old one. Alright, now for the fun part of taking off the old one. So first thing I'm going to do is get this master cylinder off. If you remember, and you look all the way back to my videos, I actually did replace this master cylinder when we got the car running. So it is a new master cylinder, and I did not paint it at the time, which I do minorly regret. But I'm not going to paint it now. So we're just going to get it off here very carefully. Like that, and just kind of bend it out of the way just a hair. Hopefully not break any of my wires. Those bolts. And now, the fun part is we get to get all of the, hopefully the nuts off the studs for the bracket on the firewall, which is definitely tight in here with these hood hinges and the, well, everything, actually. So, I'm going to have to get a short socket, I think. Just go in there and do it by hand. So, good old stuff. And then I got to go ahead and go underneath the dash, undo the clip on the pedal, which this may be a good time. I also grabbed, when I was in the junkyard, I also grabbed a brake pedal switch for the lights, because big issue I've always had on this car is I got a new brake pedal switch because my old one was broken. But the new one seems to be for a manual brake car, which means that the spring inside is needs more pressure to close the switch or open it, whatever you want to say, than power brakes. Because obviously power brakes takes a lot less pressure to push down. So I think that the ones that they make now, either I got the wrong one or it was just made incorrectly or what, I don't really know. They only actually had one type, which doesn't make sense to me because I believe you should have two different types, one for manual, one for power brake cars, because the spring pressure needs to be different. Because on a power brake car, it's a lot softer. So I'm gonna see if the old one that I got in the car works, and if it does, I will clean it up, piece it together, and hopefully it's better and my brake lights come on sooner, because the issue I've been having is that you have to push the brakes all the way down, which means that you're stopping pretty hard and fast in order for the brake lights to actually activate. And I did notice that the less vacuum there is, then that makes a bigger difference as well. So yeah, anyways, I'm stalling. Let's get this off. Now, there's really not like a great way to do this. It is very tight, however. Luckily, there's only 4 of these. Okay, so now I just went under the dash and pulled out the pin. So this should come right out, which it does. Oh, it's covered in crap. And there we go. And, this piece of foam right here. That's kind of unusual, but this is a Bendix style. This may be the original one for my car, but I don't actually know. Well, that's it. So now let's put the new one on. Okie dokie. It is significantly later, as you could probably tell by the sunset, but this sky is all painted up and hopefully ready to go. So we're gonna drop her in there as carefully as I can. All right, try this again for round 2. Round 2. Okay, the booster is sitting on there loosely. I've got the rod started on the other side, but yeah, it's on there. Now we got to tighten it up and then tighten the brakes, hook up the vacuum port, which I don't love. I may have to get another vacuum port because this one, well, this one's a DIY help yourself one from AutoZone, and for some reason it's made for the smaller Bendix style or whatever the small style nipple is. And this Midland booster is the large style, and the one that came off this booster, which was actually in really nice shape, had both of the nipples on it broken off. So, yeah. So I may have to find a fix for that, but in the meantime, I'm going to double check the other brake switch that I have, make sure that it's good. And if it is good, I'm going to throw it on, or I'm going to clean it up and then throw it on, and use that one, and then put the pins in and bolt everything back up, tighten it all down, and we should be good to go. It is getting dark fast. I've got the under switch stuff figured out. The other brake light switch seems to work, so it went on. And may not be perfect, but as long as it works, that's all that really matters. Oh boy, this is the fun part, because getting this off was not fun. And I don't think getting it on is going to be any more fun. The sun is officially down, so trying to hurry. Just got to get these 4 bolts tightened up, then do the 2 bolts on the master, hook up my line, and then run the engine and see if it works. And then go take it for a test drive. Ooh! Apparently that's got power. Let me undo the battery again. Don't actually know what that was. This nut is one of those where it gets hard and then it gets really finger tight, and then it gets hard again and it gets finger tight, and I keep having to... Jesus. I'll be back. All right, finally got it done. Light is all but gone. Let's just see if it at least holds vacuum. What I had to do was flip the bigger grommet inside out, and then it seemed to hold a little better. But we'll have to see if it stays like that, because I have a feeling it's not going to work. So I might have to just get the correct one, which I will do. All right. Well, it seems to hold itself tight, so that's good. The new brake switch definitely works. It also feels like a slightly stiffer pedal, which I like, because before it was way too soft. So, yeah, I guess now I'm going to take it for a quick ride. So, I'll see you back here, because it's dark, so probably see you in daytime. All right, well, it's sort of the next day, or actually it's the day after the next day, because we had a rainstorm yesterday, and the night that I put this in, it started raining all of a sudden, and then I was gone. But now we're back. For you, it was only a few seconds, and, well, we've got it installed. And what I'll say is I took it for a short drive, and I haven't even checked under here since to make sure I wasn't missing anything. Although I do remember I have to tighten up 2 bolts. I'll do that right now before I forget. But everything seemed to be in working order, so to speak. The brakes feel a little bit stiffer, which is actually a good thing. They're stiffer throughout the majority of the pedal than they were before, which also means that my brake light switch, now the old one may have worked just fine, and it may have just been the booster acting up weird, because the new one is a little bit stiffer, and the light hits immediately. It happens right when you press the very top of the brakes when the car's running. The issue I was having was that on D-cell, I would get so much vacuum that the old brake booster would just relieve way too much pressure, and it wouldn't matter pressing the brake pedal. You'd have to basically slam the brakes for the light to come on. Now, it seems like it comes on right away, so that's the biggest win out of all of this. It also feels a little bit different, which is nice, but yeah, having brake lights, that works. And that means that this project is done. So, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate your time. If you enjoyed this type of video, be sure to let me know by leaving a like, comment, subscribe even if you want to see more content like this. And we'll see you next time. See ya.